Like a lot of people, I find mowing the lawn quite therapeutic, and for the last 4.5 years since we moved into this lovely home, I've been mowing my 10 metre by 10 metre lawn with no problem at all. I have a Bosch Rotac 370, it's got a 14-inch blade in it, that's all it needs to be. It's not the biggest lawn, it's not the biggest lawnmower, and it's been fine, except for one really little niggly annoyance that I have been finding every single Sunday that I go out there in the spring and summer. The cord that comes with it is, frustratingly, just 10 metres, which means that I can go in a straight line in that direction, and I can go in a straight line in that direction, and a lovely arc. But when it comes to getting over to the far corner of the lawn, I simply cannot reach it. So my goal today, rather simply, swap out the 10 metre cord with a 30 metre replacement. First job, I think we're just going to have to take this off. Seems to be just 2 screws holding this one in place. I'm hoping by the time we take this off, it should reveal all underneath. Now inside we've got the cable that runs through to the actual motor in the body of the machine, and then in here we have got the power supply, which appears to be nothing more than live neutral in there, which is a good result because the fly mower cable, I know, only comes with a live neutral. It's not earthed, which is fine. So the question is, how does one take this out? Oh, here we go. That comes out rather easily, doesn't it? Look, there must be somewhere in here mechanism for. Now that's the power switch that's on the handle here. The question is, how does one get this out of here? Now, is it push together, push fit? Or is there some other trick to this? Let's have a look. Right, so let's give us a little bit more room in there. And I think what I'm going to do is try and bring this down onto the worktop, just to have a little play with it and see if it's see if it could be a bit more self-explanatory. But it doesn't look to be screwed together in any possible way. Well, this here appears to simply pop off. There's a cover here. If we prise that, there we go, that's it. And underneath, what appears to be these clips here that hold it in. So I'm going to try using a flathead screwdriver, see if I can prise those open. And there are 2 on the ends. There we go. What's interesting, when you take this cover off of the thing, there is a little ball bearing just inside here, which you don't want to lose. So I'm going to pick it up. It's just on the end of a spring. Pop it down, keep that one safe for the moment. And that is the ball bearing that ultimately holds the push switch in and out against the backing plate. The cables that are in here are held in by nothing more than spring clips that are in here. So let's have a little look and see whether I can prise it back and pull out the cable. Let's have a little look. I think that's probably it. That's it. That's got it. We'll do the same for this one. There we go. Right, next job. Now then, the new Flymo cable comes with the Flymo attachment on the end, which we don't need. So this is nothing more complex, I hope, than removing that. Once we've cut it, before we go about stripping this, for ease, I'm going to pop this through the housing first, because it'll be a hell of a lot easier to feed that through before I strip the ends of the cable. Let's move that up and out of the way whilst I go ahead and strip the end of here. Now, by the looks of it, we only need about 1 inch or so of clearance. Twist them up. Now notice the other cables, whilst I'm just going to twist these, I noticed that the other cables in fact were soldered. So there we go. Having stripped off the Flymo connector at the end, I'm left with the 2 cables here, which should just slide straight in and go reasonably securely in there, which is great. I then got to rebuild it. Now that spring, little spring, goes in there like that, and rather deftly I think I'm going to have to pop the ball bearing on there whilst the cap clips down on, and in fact that's taken rather nicely in there, so this now should still work. There we go. The cables are nice and strong, which is excellent. Okay, so once we've got that in there, should be merely a case of reattaching the bottom of this one, which goes on this way round. So the unit itself needs to get popped back inside. It's a little bit fiddly, but ultimately it really only sort of fits in one way. And the idea is that that will, as you put that, presses down inside, so it goes up against there, and as you tighten it up, it presses it down. It actually locks this mains cable coming into place, so that there's never any stress exerted onto the cables into the end of the wires that you've put into there. So it should be merely a case of lining that up on there. There we go, and screwing it back in place. So I'll grab this. That is nice and tight in there. That's going nowhere now. So if you suddenly yank against it when you're mowing and you don't realise you're running the cable a bit short, that's there. And this one comes out neatly, and that goes straight down to the motor. Easy enough. 10 minutes. Out with the old useless cable. I'll keep it. I'm sure I'll find some use for it in the future. And in with the lovely new 30-metre cable. See how we get on.